Hello, it's me, Pavlo, and today I will tell you a story about my blasphemy, about my betrayal of great ideals of pure analog sound and audiophilia. Okay, jokes aside, today I will tell you a story about a great device that I enjoy using with my Rega Planar 6 that I told you about some time ago. It's Waxwing and it's labeled as phono DSP. Yep, seasoned audiophiles lost their conscience at this moment because, of course, vinyl turntable and DSP shouldn't be together. But they are, and in this device, you get analog to digital converter, then digital signal processor, and digital to analog converter. So basically, it's really simple. We're converting our pure and ideal analog signal to the digital form, killing all liveliness in this music. Okay, okay, I can't stop joking about that. So it converts signal to digital form, applies, if necessary, a lot of different digital processing, and also, if necessary, it converts it back to analog. But you can also use it, use a digital signal that it can also output. And it's a pretty versatile device. Of course, its main role is phono preamplifier for the vinyl turntables, and it's really unique because of its set of features, especially for different non-standard devices. But for standard ones, it also does a great job. But you also can use it with, for example, CD players and some other sources of analog signal. But still, main role, of course, is working with turntables, and that's what I will be focusing on. I will tell you about this device, I will show you companion app and tell you about all settings briefly, because there are a lot of settings and I haven't seen actually videos that covers them all. Probably it will be useful, and then I'll share my conclusions. It costs $450. I will add links to the description, so let's have a closer look. As you can see, box is pretty minimalistic, but external minimalism is one of the main driving forces behind the creation of Waxwing. I've learned about Park's audio on the internet, and first their creation was a kind of classical analog phono preamplifier with tubes, then was Puffin, already digital but with knob and screen. And for the Waxwing, Shannon Parks, creator of this marvelous device, went the path of ancient sculptor. I don't remember who of that antique sculptor said that I just take a big rock of marble and cut away all unnecessary parts. And the same here. Waxwing is just bare minimalistic in terms of external controls and connectivity, and the box corresponds to that. I broke the seal, and I like that it was here. You get inside cable to connect it to the power, short quick start guide and reference, then a small USB power brick, not that useful for me because it's for the United States, but anyway, and of course device itself. So let's get it out of this bubble wrap, and actually you can see it's small, it's compact, and without any controls. Compact metal shell and two rubber rings that serves as feet to avoid scratching of the surface. Nothing on the front, no LEDs, no indicators, nothing, and actually that's great. And some connectors on the back side. Of course, main is the analog input, and here you can connect your vinyl turntable. Actually, you can use Waxwing not only with turntable but with some other devices, and you can use it as equalizer and some sound processor, but of course it's still its job is being a phono preamplifier. Then ground terminal to connect your to NARM ground if your turntable has it. And then you getting three outputs. You either can get analog out here and connect it directly to your amplifier, or if you have some good DAC in your system, you can connect it via digital coaxial out or optical out. You have some freedom to experiment to find out what scenario works best for you. But actually encouraging you to experiment is one of the driving forces behind of this device. For me, I decided to go digital because my new Prime amplifier has built-in DAC, and I connected it via optical out. Not like I truly believe there will be some difference, but I decided to galvanically isolate Waxwing from the DAC and amplifier just because I can do that. And of course, here is power input. You just connect USB power here and it works. It goes into working mode and you don't even have to disconnect it. Power consumption here is really low, so no needs in powering it on and off. I like that it's really compact. I've seen some nice setups where Waxwing was put just beneath turntable. So if you have some turntable with high fits, you can actually fit it underneath. Despite the simple external look, internally it's a super sophisticated device that can do much more than any other phono preamplifier on the market. And to control all that stuff, you'll need the companion app. It's actually called Waxwing in the App Store or in the Play Store. It works on Android and iOS, works pretty well with both iPhones and iPads. It's created with Flutter, which makes me a bit sad because I am a native iOS developer and I'm always rooting for native Swift experience, but I understand, of course, that Flutter makes tons of sense for such use case. And actually, despite of a bit unusual interface, this application is really convenient and really flexible. And one of the greatest features that I really like, maybe it's a programmer inside of me speaking, is that it's self-explanatory. So you can tap any of this adjustment points and you'll get a pretty detailed instruction and explanation. As you can see, it shows that it's connected to my Waxwing. Here you can reboot your device, update firmware, and here actually you can copy and paste localization file from the Waxwing site. But English is always great in my opinion. So what we have here in terms of settings. All settings are locked by default and to change it you need to press this lock and to unlock it. And I think it's pretty good because you won't do any unwanted changes randomly. And for the volume you also can have a mute button. And here you can always see what settings is set here. Volume is set to 0 because I'm using my amplifier to control it, and that's it. Gain, you can have some different settings, but 38 decibels it's for moving magnet default settings, 56 for moving coil, but of course you can adjust it according to the manual of your cartridge. Worms is probably main control, one of the most important here. It's basically shifting overall tonal representation of the sound, making it more or less warm. Then goes air and treble, two controls for the high frequencies. You can use it to boost highs or to reduce it. Air works from 8 kilohertz, if I remember correctly, yeah, 8 kilohertz, and treble is from 3 kilohertz, so you can manipulate these two settings to get the most pleasant for you sound. For example, my Dave Brubeck disc has a bit overbrighten sound, and same with James Bond OST collection. So sometimes I'm reducing air a little bit. Bass actually adding low frequencies and in below 300 hertz area, but actually I never needed to add bass. And with bass boost, it's a dynamic bass enhancer that works in 100 kilohertz and low. It can be useful for adding even more deeper bass if you need. High and low, it's high pass and low pass filters. They can be used to cut frequencies. So you can cut everything above this given threshold or everything below this threshold. Sometimes it can be useful when your setup doesn't work with that frequencies, or for some not properly recorded tracks, but actually it's not the most used options, but it's always good to have possibilities to do something. Then mode, it's stereo and a few different types of mono. Just getting pure left or pure right channel, or summarized left and right, or actually uh, one of that exciting things, it's super mono. It's just checking left, right, and some channel, and detects where you're getting the best noise floor, and switching to that option few hundred times a second. Magic is one of the greatest features of this device. Grade is another interesting thing. It's automatic grading of your disk. You just turn it on and it starts grading. It will output mark here. It's very useful because I'm not sure about global community, but local community often tends to overestimate grades of the vinyls they're selling. Like my cat used this LP as scratching post. My kid puked on the other side. Stayed very good plus, something like that. So here you can objectively grade your discs. And Magic is one of the best things, and I actually keep it on because the Magic detects when some noise or pop or crack appears, and then for a few milliseconds it just suppresses this noise and then it turns off. It's working wonders on the poorly recorded stuff when it's scratched, when it's weird. It's really great in terms of removing all that clicks and unpleasant noises. For someone, it can probably be a part of vinyl charm, but for me, it's a bit annoying things, especially when you getting click and pops on the newly unwrapped LP. So Magic helps with that. FX is adding tubes, worms, or tape type harmonic, and also brown and pink noise generators can be useful sometimes. So you can see that this tiny wonder goes beyond the typical things. The rumble is another great thing for old records. It's useful for that record that was created with elliptic equalizer, and it improves low frequencies. Parametric equalizer, it has just one peak adjustment, but actually it's more than enough in vast majority of situations. You can move this peak, select gain and Q factor, and adjust the sound to your like. Load is selection of the load for the cartridge. You can switch it between 47 kilo ohms or 200 ohms, but in vast majority 47K is your option. Channel balance, then different settings of phase, and actually, for example, null, it subtracts two channels, and it's useful to check that your setup has a proper stereo balance. And you can see a lot of functions. Then output selected. Here you can select By default, it's analog, or you can select 24, 48, or 2496. So I selected 96, not because I believe it's better, but still, higher numbers are always nice. Equalizer, you can there are different presets starting with regular phono corrector, but also some old LP players also had their own equalizer curves. You can select it, or you can actually select line in without phono correction. You can see that it's really great thing if you have some old turntable, some vintage records and want to listen them. Then log, you can log actually logs amount of time you spend listening to your records. It's necessary if you want to replace cartridge or stylus after some time. Bypass, it's obvious, it's just bypass all the above settings. Levels is it here it indicates the levels that it detected. File allows you to load and save presets, and another interesting thing is the test. Actually, let me go here, and in the test you can check RPM accuracy, azimuth, fine balance, and also here you can get sign generator, so you can do some deep tests. Also, convenience buttons to unlock everything if you want to change everything at once, but I prefer to keep it locking, and you can sort them uh, by name or by like internal logical order. But how does it sound, you will ask me? And my answer here is it sounds the way you want it. It sounds like a freedom. Maybe it sounds a bit too much, but actually, it's a great device that allows you to enjoy vinyl the way you like it. My collection is not big, but I have some records that are not great or not great enough for me to enjoy it. I have some old records that are pretty worn, have some scratches, pops, and clicks. I have, for example, James Bond OST, actually pretty good, 3 LPs compilation, but old track sounds too bright there. And Magic helps me to remove that noises and clicks. With air control, I reduce amount of treble. And unfortunately, recently I've bought Pink Floyd The Wall 2017 reissue, and that's a horrible example of modern disc production. It's just has not enough of substance in the sound, and it has pretty noticeable surface noise, and it was scratched right uh, out of the film. And thanks to the Waxwing, I just managed to add a bit of substance in the sound. I reduced that pops and clicks, and I added a bit more worms to make it more musical and enjoyable. And actually, I really like it this way, because when I first got that disc, I was a bit disappointed and was thinking about getting the second one. But instead of buying multiple vinyls, I just now have an opportunity to to change things to better, and I really enjoy it. And if you are into the vinyl hobby, I really recommend this device to you, because it's absolutely versatile. It works great with affordable turntables. It does magic with expensive turntables. But the most important thing, it's just does magic with any record you have, making it even more enjoyable. So, thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course, have a great day.